Hello and welcome back to Bat to the Ball. I'm Andrew here to recap the Brewers versus Giants 4-game series. Um, let's just get right into it. Game 1 got off to kind of a rough start with Matt Chapman hitting a home run. I think it was Drohan on the mound. Yeah, it was. Started the game, so he gave up an early 2-run homer, and you think, boy, with the offensive struggles that the Brewers have been having lately, it's like this could be rough and stuff like that. But seemed that there was a celebrity in the ways or whatever as Pablo Sanchez baby guides the Brewers to a 7-run second inning, stuff like that. It was really funny to watch the was it the triple that Terang hit. That God, I really thought he got all of it, and I'm pretty sure he did too. Otherwise, I feel like that should have probably been inside the Parker. But that was extremely funny or whatever. This was the I was like as well that I was like, man, am I that old, young? I don't know. It's like I'm in that perfect mix where I know exactly who these characters are pretty much, and are excited that the new game's coming out. So is that. Yeah, I mean the Brewers kind of exploded out in that second inning, and then there was no looking back. Pretty much, it was like that. I was like Drohan and Patrick. I guess Patrick only threw the one inning, but it was like Hall, Anderson, Woodford. I mean, we're all using like our secondary third pitchers or whatever, and just completely shutting down the Giants. And get anything going for the rest of the game pretty much. And I was it against Rupp, who they were saying was one of their better pitchers going into that and stuff like that. So we kind of ballooned his ERA as a result of that. So that was pretty cool. It's nice to see some kind of like an offensive explosion there kind of happen in the second inning. So, yeah, it's I mean that's pretty much game 1. It was kind of a blowout from after that second inning. It was like yeah, the Giants were like, oh, we're still kind of in it or whatever, and then the Brewers scored one more in the 4th, and then it was like, okay, well that kind of sucked, but we're not really getting much offensively going, so it is what it is. And then it just kind of kept going from there. Brewers would add on. I think they put a position player in or whatever. So all I can say is, Pablo led us to victory, bro, baby. Pablo Sanchez, here's the GOAT. The GOAT, baby. He's the GOAT. Whoever talks to my GOAT ever again. Don't ever talk bad about my GOAT. This is my GOAT right here. Tom Brady, who the heck is that guy? All right. So that's game 1. Game 2 was kind of similarly. It was like Brewers got out in front early when the Jake Bauers home run. And then the Giants, it wasn't until like about the 6th inning, kind of stayed 3-0 for a while there. Adames with a hit a homer. You knew it with Adames back in AmFam Field, he was gonna hit one out of here, and boy did he. So you just knew that was gonna happen. But yeah, it was like after that, it was like so he scored in the 6th, and then the Brewers scored right back in the 7th inning, and then just kind of I was like. Then the 8th inning, it's like, oh man, the Giants are the Giants put it's 4-3 now. It's like, oh man, they might get back into this or whatever after Uribe. Just couldn't get some outs again, so it's kind of giving them a little bit of yips again. So that was not great to see. So, but luckily the offense just kicked it in gear again. Couple singles, couple doubles from Trang, from Yelich, Churio, and Terang. So that was good. It was good to see. So thinking after 2 great offensive days that game 3 is going to be tough, but yeah, we should be able to do it. Gasser's on the mound, stuff like that is like. By the way, I just want to again point out Harrison was dealing again. He was dealing. He had what 12 strikeouts? Yeah, 12 strikeouts, a couple walks, but only 1 hit or like 4 hits, 1 earned run or whatever. It was off of that Adames homer. And that happened in the 6th inning, so it was probably a little later. He didn't quite make it through that 6th inning, right? Yeah. Got taken out for Ashby. It was 3-1 at that point. He didn't want the Giants getting. He wanted to get through 6, but couldn't quite get there. But game 3 was just like Webb just shut us down and stuff like that. We were getting no hit into the. I want to say it was 7th. When Terang finally broke through with a hit. Brewers had opportunities, man. Like they had opportunities in the 8th or whatever. It's like Trio had a leadoff single or whatever, but then Perkins, man, Perk, I love you, man, but he came in, pinch hit for Frelick, tried to get the bunt down, popped it up, and Trio was left on second base or whatever, and then I think a couple of batters later, like Rengifo got on, and then Gary Sanchez grounded into a double play. And you're thinking that was the opportunity to score or whatever, but not before the 9th inning when Christian Yelich leads off the game with a double, and Vaughn moves him over to first, over to third base, and you're like, great, tying runs over there, and then Terang strikes out, and you're like, God damn, man. Just untimely hitting, and just like, oh, it just sucks. The final score was 1-0 after it was just like one bad pitch by I think Gasser. Yeah, because Gasser got the loss. It was just like, oh, that really stunk after seeing, what was it? Brewers put up 16 the first game, 8 in the second game, and 0 in the third game. So you get shut out. I don't know how many times Brewers have been shut out this year, but not many, if I remember correctly. Just because you had every opportunity to make it back into this game, even after getting no hit. I thought maybe it would be similar to with or what happened earlier in the year against the Cardinals, but this did not happen, and that stunk. Churio also didn't start this game. He came in to pinch hit for Mitchell. Kind of interesting. The Churio's kind of getting these like off days or whatever. I don't know what's necessarily up with that, other than maybe it's just like keep him fresh, I guess. I don't know. Bat and right-handed bat kind of later in the game with all these lefties. Potentially, I don't know. One more lefty presence against Webb, maybe. I don't know. I have to just say as well, I don't know if the scouting report is just when it comes to pitching in the lefties in, that they're just like, just throw sliders inside, because the Brewers seem to just continually swing at those and miss. Whether it's Yelich or Brang or Bowers did a few times or whatever. He's probably honestly been one of the better ones when it comes down to it, because it's just like, because he's being able to lay off him more or whatever type thing. I don't know. It was a two-person game with Gasser and Patrick, so Patrick kind of did. So he didn't spend a whole lot in the bullpen in Game 3. So Game 4, it's like, this is the game that I actually went to. I'm actually like gone back, a couple hours ago as I'm recording this. So this is kind of generally fresh off my mind. We got there a little late, so we didn't quite see the first inning, but I guess it was kind of a good thing. As Schmidt leads off the game with a home run. We got Coleman Crow on the mound against him. Crow just did not look sharp. That's really when it comes down to it. And the funny thing is like, I guess this is technically where Sprout would be starting or whatever. I don't know if it's just like gave him an extra day of rest. Murph's trying to send a message. I'm not really sure, because he's talked about how Sprout needs to be better if he wants to keep his starting position. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I see it or whatever, but it's like, yeah, I don't know. Like that. So, I mean, the inning would continue from there. It's like Eldridge hit a single, Chapman doubles off the wall or whatever, but gave through. All right, 3-0. You can deal with that. And, Brewers got one back after a sac fly from Contreras. Got some hits together or whatever. So, got on the border early. That's nice after you just got shut out in the Game 3. Kind of nothing happened in the second inning, and then the third inning again, it's just like this more like way too solid contact from against Crow. Gave up 3 more runs. Lee, Chapman, Schmidt, once again just doing all the heavy lifting again. And it's just like, yeah, I was like, okay, well now it's 6-1. That stinks or whatever. And I believe Crow got lifted at that point. Ball came into pitch. So, I was like, man, maybe the team that strikes out a lot or doesn't walk a lot might actually be good for, might actually be good for the guy who walks a lot, with Hall. So, 5th inning, Churio hits a home run after Yelich hit a single on. I believe it was a single. Doesn't matter, he's on base. Whatever. I remember I was like, we were sitting out in the right field bleachers over there, and we're just like, did it get over the wall? Did it get over the wall? And it did. And we're just like, heck yeah. So all of a sudden you're feeling like, I was like, 6-3. All right, we could get back in this. We could do it. Same thing. You just got to keep it close. Just got to keep it close because after a bunch of zeros from Hall or whatever, and then Hall gets hurt, and you're just like, oh boy. So I didn't necessarily see initial reports. I think my brother told me that it was like chest pains or something like that, or something with his chest. Whatever. Hopefully that's not anything too serious. Maybe he just got a little winded. Essentially, I'm not sure there, but we took him out. Anderson came in. Anderson got through that inning, but from there it's just like, the 7th inning just unraveled. It's like Anderson gave up a couple hits, then got hit on the arm and had a bad bruise on his bone. Apparently the X-rays came back negative, which is good. Means he doesn't have a broken bone. It's gonna be real painful though, especially when it's on your throwing arm. So that sucked. And then Woodford comes in and gives up a grand slam to Haas. Ugh. Yeah, that inning was rough. And it was like, all right, well, I guess it's a lost game or whatever. It was like 12-3 or whatever. It's like Brewers get 2 more back again from Churio's second homer of the year, or second homer of the day. He was hitting the ball hard, dude. That's all I'm gonna say there. He was hitting the ball hard. Then the 8th inning, it's like David Hamilton hits his second homer. I was like, man, I did not think that thing had enough to go, but all of a sudden it's 12-6 or whatever type thing. And then the 9th inning happened. It's like Woodford works scoreless 8th and 9th after getting, hit up in the 6th after kind of being thrust into the spot after the injury to Anderson. I think he gave a few more hits, but no more runs, which is good. And then it was just kind of from there, it was just like the Giants bullpen just kind of unraveled or whatever a little bit. It was like that Ramos or whatever just came in and was like gave up a couple hits, and then walked in a run with Perkins. And it was like, that's Perkins, man. He's got an under 100 batting average. It's like, you got to come at him. So didn't do that. Sal got looked like it was going to be double play, ended up beating it out type thing. And all of a sudden it's 12-8, and you're thinking, oh man, here we go. We got to get through the bottom of the lineup. Rengifo hasn't done much but he gets single down there, and you're like, shit, this could happen. It's 12-9. Stuff like that. Here comes David Hamilton, and he hits the fly ball to the deepest part of the ballpark, and it's just short of a home run. Man, that would have been a hell of a comeback. Fortunately, he landed just a little short. Ultimately, the takeaways of that, I mean, you fought back after, all these guys kind of came out or whatever. It's like Trang came out of the game. Ortiz or Contreras was out of the game. Bowers was out of the game. Vaughn was in the game, which was pretty nice. Vaughn actually got robbed of a 2-run homer from Schmidt earlier in the game, which I think would have led to more in the 8th inning, I want to say, or was it the 7th inning? I don't honestly remember now. I don't know, somewhere around there. So it's like it would have been 2 runs closer. Final score probably would have been 12-11 if that had happened. Or maybe, that changes the complexion of the at-bat, and maybe Hamilton's not swinging for the fences at that point. So, it was just like, but it was just a day where pitching just wasn't on point, and Crow just gave up too many runs of the bat. Hall came in before he, left the game or whatever, was really good. Struck out a guy, got a lot of weak contact. Anderson was good in that first inning, and then not so much the second inning. I guess third inning, like kind of go for, wasn't it? I don't remember honestly. Before he took off his, he didn't get any outs in that 7th inning. So I think he was left with 2. Yeah, he got charged for 2 of the earned runs. Yeah, Woodford ended up working the last 3. Yeah, it's just like, just needed to. I think the difference maker, it's like those 2-3 runs early in the game. It's like, okay, you can kind of come back from that. It was the 6-run 8th or 7th that killed that game. Really stunk. But it is what it is, I guess. So you end up splitting the series with the Giants. Not what you were hoping to see, or whatever. I think that we were. I was telling my brother that I was like that we were, and I was really hoping to at least win 3-1. I had a feeling Webb was just going to throw like a good game or whatever. So it just kind of felt like that's what he was going to do. I was thinking maybe Giants aren't that great of a team. So like they only that was their 25th win. Whew. Brewers at 37. Didn't realize so I don't know. It is what it is. You end up splitting. Dude, Brewers never play well against out west teams. I don't know what it is and stuff like that. So I'm hoping that they can take this last game and think, all right, we put some good swings on the ball again or whatever type thing. Like it's like game three just frustrated me to no end or whatever. It's like these getting no hit or whatever type thing. It's like Webb's throwing good, but he's not throwing that good. Like I feel like sometimes we're just too passive at the plate or whatever. It's like teams know that the Brewers are going to take pitches basically. Like we see the most pitches in baseball as a team basically per at bat. We also have the most. I don't remember if it's most walks or second most walks in the majors or something like that. So I don't know, top 3, top 5, whatever. I'm not sure. When it comes to that, so it's like, yeah, the Brewers are going to force walks, but if you just throw strikes and you put them behind 0-2 or even 0-1, and then kind of force them to go like, oh crap, now I got to actually swing the bat or whatever type of thing. Like you got to go up there with the mindset I'm going to get a hit, not that I'm going to get a walk. I'm going to work the count. It's like part of the reason why Bowers is doing so well this year is because that he's going up there wanting to swing the bat, but he's knowing not to swing at garbage, basically. He knows that it's like, okay, well, if I'm going to swing at stuff in the zone. And I'm not going to just work the count. And it's like, sometimes that can be bad because you're like, oh, you see like a slider or something like that, or change up low in the zone or whatever. It's like, yeah, it might clip the bottom, but he's like, ain't gonna swing at that. And like, look, the Brewers have done that or whatever. But there's times where he does take hacks or whatever, and you never know what you could get off of it type thing. So, not saying they should swing it for every first pitch or whatever, but it's like, it feels like that the amount of times in these past couple days that I saw Brewers, I saw Sal do it like twice. I saw Mitchell do it like once. Trang did it like once off the top of my head, where it's just like we're going up there and it's like, yeah, they might be on the corner or whatever type thing, but you gotta take some hacks. You gotta get the timing down or whatever. You gotta get a feel for his pitches, whatever. You gotta be up there being aggressive. I don't know. That's just me. I'm not a major league hitter. I'm or whatever, but it's just like there's just times where I'm just like, come on, guys, we gotta. Like, we're not just gonna get walked every time, especially then against like a pitcher like Webb. He doesn't walk a lot of guys. He only had one walk in that game. Yeah, like I think it was to Bowers in the 6th inning or something like that. Oh, and it's not like he was striking out a lot of guys. He only had 4 strikeouts. Wasn't giving up hits. A lot of soft contacts, pretty much. It's really what it came down to. You gotta get barrels to the balls. I don't know. Yeah, I understand hitting stuff or whatever, but it's like there's just times where I'm just like, sometimes you just gotta take some swings like that. Maybe it's just a certain feel to it. When guys are hitting, that's what they say. Hitting's contagious. Like, man, with those 2 home runs from Churio today, it's like I think his OPS was falling to like the high 7s mark or whatever. It's now to 878. We need to get him going. So hopefully they'll see these 2 home runs. The Brewers showed a lot of pop in the last game or whatever, between Bond's stolen home run, couple home runs from Churio, and then the home run from Hamilton. So I was just like, dang. So we're making some loud contact or whatever. So I don't know. I feel like Contreras might be getting in a bit of a funk lately. I know his numbers are still pretty decent, but it's like I feel like he's kind of getting into a funk right now, where it's like I don't know. He don't really like to change his approach or whatever because he's been doing good. I don't want to necessarily change his approach. I just want to just go like, man, it's just like maybe let's not swing at the first pitch that's right on the edge or whatever type thing and get him, fly out or whatever, get a little pop up. it is what it is. I mean, I'm not a major leaguer. These guys, they do this day in, day out type thing. It happens, What's really funny is, like, something I was like, I don't know, what's great. I'll talk about that afterwards. We'll look forward to the next series. The next series will be at Rockies. On the mound will be Sproat versus Feltner. In game 1. Hopefully we can get Sproat's kind of like he relies a lot on his slider, doesn't he? So this will be interesting with the Rockies. He might be relying more on his fastball or changeup, cutter maybe. Because like pitching in Colorado's tough because the stuff that breaks isn't going to break as much. Got to keep that under consideration. So there's that. So game 2 will be Mizrowski versus Gordon. So we got Miz. Can't wait to see him throw like 80 fastballs or whatever at 100 plus. I don't know about that much, but it's just like I can imagine that the plan that Miz and Hook and Henderson are having for him is just like throw the fastball. It's just like we're just gonna throw the fastball. Maybe we'll incorporate the curveball and slider a bit more, but I think with Miz always it's fastball heavy. He just keep doing what he's doing, man. He's doing good type thing or whatever. So it's like you worry with that much velocity if the Rockies can actually get around on it. He's going to give up homers, but you can say the same thing about AmFam Field, just maybe not to the same extent of Coors, but it's pretty hard to get around on a 100, 102, 103 mile an hour fastball that feels like 110. So to a lot of these unproven Rockies hitters that really haven't seen him at all. So it's gonna be really interesting. And then game 3 will be is currently slated as Drowan versus Kyle Freeland. I wouldn't be surprised if that's actually the mix going forward. So Kyle Freeland, wow. I just looked at Kyle Freeland's numbers. He's 1-6 with an 8 ERA. Whew. Remember when he had the best Rockies season for a pitcher like ever? So, yup. So Kyle Freeland, obviously the lefty on the mound for game 3. Are they both the other ends righties? They are righties. So really hoping that you can take. I mean, I'd be over the moon if you could take all 3, but we got to get 2 back or whatever. It's like losing these last 2 against the Giants really freaking sucked. Was really hoping to win at least one of those or whatever. I was hoping to just like, all right, walk away 3-1. We're good. That's fine. That's what you kind of expect or whatever. Losing those last 2 really stunk. I mean, the main takeaways I have from the Giants, whatever, is just the bottom of the lineup just needs to just hit. They just need to get on base for the top of the lineup to actually do some damage. Because when Yelich comes up or whatever and he hits double down the line or he hits a single, it's like we need guys on base that are actually going to score off him. Otherwise, it might just be better to put Yelich back in, deeper in the lineup, put him back in like the 2-3 slot. But I think Murph likes him at the top slot, and I kind of do too. But the bottom of the lineup's got to get on base. So it's like it's on Hamilton and Hefo, Frelick to get on base. I don't know. It's like I oftentimes say, I mean, I've said it on this show or whatever type thing, is that like when do the Brewers call up, Pratt or whatever? He's under contract. We're not worried about manipulating, service time or whatever type thing. When do they call up Chet Williams if they're going to call him up? When do they call up Luis Lara potentially? Because man, Frelick's just really been struggling too, and it's just like, so you had a hit today, but hitting 5 at bat, 5 ABs, didn't draw a walk. Not great showing. Really not. Like that. And I'm like, I don't know. There's just like, I think he run it out to like Devers at first base like 3 times, twice. I think it was twice. Struck out once. Whatever, looking. And it was like a 3-pitch strikeout. It's like, Frelick, come on, man. I really like you, man. It's like, you gotta just a little bit more, So that's what I mean. It's just like about the aggressiveness or whatever type thing. It's like you just gotta got to try and have it. You know, you got to try and get there. Wasn't quite getting there. It's like Hamilton did get on base in front of Yelich. I think in that, I believe it was that 5th inning when we brought it within a couple. Or was it that one? Maybe it was the 6th. I think it might have been the 6th. Something like that. I don't remember exactly, but it was like it was just like all right, Hamilton's on base, Yelich is up. You know, we're kind of feeling pretty good about it or whatever type thing, and then Hamilton gets thrown out at second base. It's like, look, I know the guy's fast. The thing is, everyone knows he's up there going to go steal. It's why he doesn't just he hasn't dropped a bunt in forever, is because everyone knows he's going to drop a bunt. It's like, yeah, we all know he's fast, and you don't think the Giants don't know that too, and they're going to throw him out? Yeah. So I don't know. Like Haas killed us, you know, love Eric Haas or whatever type thing. So I was like, good to see that he is now 1,000 OPS with the Giants or whatever. How many games has he played for the Giants? Out of curiosity. 14 games, 39 at bats. I mean, solid. I don't know what, you know, Giants' other catcher is like, but I don't know how you can't just keep playing him. Yeah, Dama's got a couple hits in that game, an RBI. So, classic Willie, hurting us when we really were hoping he wouldn't. And there was like what was it? Double play that Hamilton didn't come up with or whatever. It's like he got the ball from Terang or whatever, and Vermont. And I think that was the 7th inning, if I'm not mistaken. That, you know, you do that double play or whatever, and all those runs don't score. There were some miscues. There were some definite miscues by the Brewers or whatever. I forget. Did Hamilton get that error? I don't honestly remember. Either way, say here errors. I mean, I see. Oh wait, no. Oh, Giants got thrown in there. Well, Adames got a throwing error. Oh, sorry. Does that say Adames has 11 errors on the year? I hope that's not the case. Man. But yeah, I mean, it's whatever type thing. You just got to be a bit more aggressive at the bottom of the lineup. I feel like it's just like I just need the bottom of the lineup to do something, and it's like whether that's I've talked about it, and I've talked about it as well. On you know, friends, the show type thing or whatever. It's like I like Rengifo, whatever, but he's just not doing anything. He's just like, he made a couple really good plays in the infield or whatever defensively. Yeah, it's great and all, but it's like we're having the same problem that the Brewers had last year before they called up Durbin. It's just we're getting no production from third base and shortstop. But it's like, how long can we really continue to do that or whatever? It's like, yeah, maybe Hamilton's doing a little bit more than, you know, than Ortiz is doing or whatever. That's why he's getting starts short or whatever. But it's like, we need some production from a corner infield. That's why I'm like, so when does Pratt come up? And it's like, are we gonna have him play short and then have Hamilton play third base? When does Williams come up? Does he take over third base? Does he take over in center field potentially? So I'm like, and don't hate Mitchell, but man, I just feel like every time I watch him, it's just like, it's like, yeah, it's like he ended up he struck out and he walked in technically one plate appearance, 2 plate appearances or whatever. And before getting pinch hit for Vaughn later in the game, and I'm just going like, I don't know, man. I like Mitchell's always is a grab bag for me. It's just like he's either doing extremely well or I'm just going like, golly, come on, man. So it's like I hate to be like that, but it's like it just kind of is true. Like trying in a couple hits today, that's great, or whatever. Churio was the one that had the big day. A couple hits from Yelich, that's great. Yeah, as like Contreras had the sac fly or whatever, but it's like didn't really do much offensively other than that. Numbers are still really good though. So, and obviously, that's our catcher, boy. That's our catcher, baby. I ain't gonna talk bad about him. Bowers had a couple good at bats. Drew a couple walks. It's like, oh yeah, it was fun. It was funny watching Illich do his first ABS challenge. That was cool. Results in that. So it's just like, but it's like I look and I think about the lineup and what it could be. It's like, you have Yelich, Churio, Trang, Contreras, Bowers, and then like instead of like potentially Mitchell, you could have Lara, whatever type thing. I don't know. Like Lara will either play either now outfield for Frelick at times, maybe Mitchell at times. Like it's like one of the two things that, because with Lara can do is he's a switch hitter, so he kind of helps when you're against righties and lefties, because it's like switch hitter, you can hit both sides or whatever type thing. And then if you can have Pratt and Williams or whatever, these guys that are like chomping at the bits to get to the majors type thing, to show what they can do. And that's when the Brewers thrive the most. This is when Murph does what his best work is. He's like, go out there and just do everything he can. It's like, I want you battling up there. I want you tooth and nail. I want you to go poke him on the shoulder until you annoy the crap out of him, basically, and then keep poking him. That's why I called them the woodpeckers last year. Stuff like that. Like, keep that mentality. That's really what it comes down to. And it's like getting some young guys up in the majors or whatever that are like, they're looking. They're just like, I want to be here. I want to stay here, and I want to be here. And I want to win games. That's really what it comes down to. Like, you can switch around the infield. It's like, I think Rengifo probably will definitely get DFA'd at that point. I know they're kind of waiting for Lockridge to come back for Perkins, but Perk's got to go back to the AAA. I mean, like, he's doing nothing up here in the majors. Like, I know he worked a couple walks today after pinch hitting for Bowers, but yeah, they thought the game was over at that point. And it's just like Hamilton's doing fine. I think the spot starts over third or short. Times, good. I mean, him and Ortiz can kind of take over as kind of like the utility guys or whatever, and the speedsters, whatever type thing. And it's like, I know the outfield is kind of going to be like, assuming Vaughn can get some more starts at first base. Basically, it's like that means Bowers will have to play the outfield, play left, Churio playing center. Probably means Mitchell doesn't make the lineup then at that point, and then Frelick, or maybe even Mitchell plays, and then maybe Churio takes over in right, or Bowers plays right, basically. However Murph wants to kind of structure it or whatever. But it's like, I think that would be a much better lineup, but I don't know. You work with what you got, and when they finally decide to pull the trigger, I'm gonna be all here for it. That's all I'm gonna say. Like look, Rengifo, man, I like you, but it's just like we need something. We need something. Like yeah, you're making some plays out there and out there in third base. Great, awesome. We need you for your bat too, though. We need and stuff like that. And it's like Perkins not being able to get the bunt down in game 3 against the Webb one to get Churio over to second, failing to do that. I mean, Murph called out. It's like, it's unacceptable. You got to get it down. You gotta. You're in the major league. You're hitting really terribly. It's like, when I ask you to do one simple thing, I need you to do it, man. You just couldn't do it. Really stunk. So it is what it is. I think if some or all those moves are made, I don't know if they intend to make Lara into the majors, stuff like that, or this year, or if that's going to be like another, like, okay, we're going to leave him in AAA, maybe call him up in September type thing. But like, outfield's kind of, with Bowers playing so well, and like, we want Vaughn in there as well. It's like, it's like we have too many outfielders, or too many positions that need to be filled by too many guys, basically. And it's like, looking at this, it's like, you can potentially trade Mitchell, which would open up an outfield slot for Bowers, or Lara or something like that. Or I mean, I'm hoping Lockridge is back soon too, so that'd be nice as well, because he was doing really well. He was, and it's another right-handed bat for us or whatever, and a guy that just plays hard, fast, everything Murph wants from a player. type thing or whatever. But it's like I've recently saw. I was like, what was it? I think I saw on ESPN put out from Jeff Passan. It's like all the teams that like, players that could be needed and stuff like that. And I was like, and this is what I wanted to talk about. Everyone's talking about goddamn Tarek Skubal. Brewers do not need Tarek Skubal, by the way. They just don't. I was like, look, if you could guarantee me today, like if you had a time machine, went to the future, saw that, and brought back like a newspaper or something that, like an official newspaper that I knew was legit, not AI'd or whatever type thing, not false or faked or, whatever type thing. And it said Brewers win World Series in 2026 off of like, World Series MVP Tarek Skubal or whatever, who pitched like 2 games or something like that and was like shut out the Yankees in both games and like through like 7 innings or whatever. Sure, then I'd say it's worth any price that you would be willing to pay, but you cannot guarantee me that. So it's like, and I don't want to trade, it's like the asking price is going to be too high. The Tigers are absolutely going to shop him around type thing. And you don't think the Dodgers would offer something big or whatever? You don't think the Yankees would do that as well? You don't think that the Phillies would potentially do that same thing as well? Phillies are in win now mode. They got to win. Stuff like that. It's like everyone, their players aren't getting younger type thing. They're playing better. So it's like, you don't think they're going to pay for a big price or whatever? I don't, some team. And it's just not a move that you'd see from the Brewers or whatever. It's like back in 2008, like everyone's talking, it's like, oh, this is like CCL over again. We're not trying to make the playoffs. We're trying to win the World Series. Well, you don't think Tarek Skubal could be that? And I go, I mean, yeah, but realistically, we need a bat. That's what we need. We need a bat. And stuff like that. And so I was like looking, I was like, and I was thinking to myself, I'm like, oh, what could they get or whatever? And it's like, and Jeff Passan put out something very interesting today that I was like, me and my brother were looking at or whatever, and they were saying that the Brewers should go over to the Twins and try and trade for Byron Buxton. And I'm sitting there going like, shit, I didn't even think about Byron Buxton. I was like, that would be huge if you could get Buxton or whatever. I know that's a whole, thing to try and do or whatever. You're gonna have to convince Buxton. It's like he didn't waive. No, he talked about how he's like, oh, I'm not waiving my no trade clause. I was like, I'm gonna be here for the Twins type thing. You need to convince him of that he was, and stuff like that. So that's already a hurdle you have to jump through, which is kind of good luck with that. Maybe he would, because it's not like a big market team type thing, and I think he'd be under contract for another like 3 years if I remember correctly type thing. It's only $15 million a year. Like that's not that much more, especially if the MLB is going to be putting in the salary floor. Basically, the Brewers are going to have to spend. Might as well spend it on Byron Buxton, even if he's hurt or whatever. We saw last year like what happens when Buxton is healthy. He's really good and would be a great addition in center field for us as well. It's like, maybe not everyday start or whatever. And it's like, oh, what could that trade be for? And it's like, well, it'd be probably like Mitchell. They might ask for Lara type thing. And hey, while you're at it, hey, Twins, is Joe Ryan available? What would be his price or whatever and type thing? You could just make like a big deal, whatever type thing. I don't know if that'd be something the Twins would do or whatever, but hey, I say try and work it if you can. Try and work it if you can. Or if maybe they're not thinking Joe Ryan. I know that he's kind of struggled in the majors, but he's been doing really good in the minors as recent. Royce Lewis, I think he'd be solid over at third base. That's a more proven guy. I feel like if you can get any of those 3 guys, I mean, do it. I say do it as long as the price is right. The price has got to be right. Obviously, I have to imagine that Pena's off the list, Mate's off the list, or whatever. They're no goes. The instant they hear those names, they're like, nope, not doing it, type thing. Because I could not see Matt Arnold doing a move like that, where it's like moving a top prospect. And that's the thing is like if you get Skubal, it's only for the second half of this year, because the Brewers are not going to be able to pay the price to keep Tarek Skubal around. it's a cool and fun thought for Tarek Skubal, but the more and more I think about it, the more and more I do not want him. I want a bat that plays on the left side of the field. You know, whether it's shortstop, third base. It's like I think there's a yeah. It's like that's why I was like thinking. I was like Royce Lewis might be an interesting one. You know, he's been doing really good in the minors, type thing. If he can do it in the majors again, type thing. Like when he got sent down to the majors, I thought I'm like, oh man, this is like a Andrew Vaughn situation right here, where it's like, you know, it's the organization kind of, I don't know, gave up or whatever. It was kind of like, oh hey, you need a reset type thing or whatever. I was like, maybe, but hasn't happened. So I don't know if I think the Brewers are just, you know, Matt Arnold just kind of has it in his mind of like what he wants this team to look like. You know, the players that are on this team, you know, going forward. It's kind of there. It's like, and I think the idea is, you know, it's like Pratt at short next year, Jet Williams at third, potentially first base is kind of, you know, Vaughn, Bowers, whatever. Be interesting because didn't Bowers only sign like a 1-year contract or whatever? So, I mean, some team might see what he did this year and, you know, we'll offer him more. Maybe I'd like the Brewers to keep him around if they could. But this is off-season stuff we'll worry about later then, basically. That's really what it comes down to. For now, we're just gonna focus on, you know, the right here, right now type thing. There was I was also thinking as well. I was like, if you're thinking shortstop, if you know Pratt or whatever type thing, or maybe a more proven shortstop. I know Godala Perdomo has not had the greatest comeback, greatest, you know, year to him or whatever. After having a pretty breakout star season last year. Let me see here. Yeah, I mean, he had 7 WAR last year, and he was really good. This year, not so much. 3 homers, 21 RBIs, 225 batting average OPP. Slug is a 767 OPS. It's not, I don't know, not that great, but it's also not that bad. That's why I kind of look at it going like, maybe. I don't know. I think if you're also the Diamondbacks, I wouldn't give him up. It's like it's rough year so far, but maybe he can turn around. Maybe not this year, but I think his potential is too high just to kind of give up. I mean, I know the Twins just signed Markel Garcia, so I don't think they'll let him go, especially with how good he is. How is Markel Garcia? I know the Twins are not having. I was looking at Garcia last year for potentially for the Brewers, but then he signed a spell Mike Garcia. Oh, there it was. I was close enough. This year, and he was really good last year. Wow, very similar numbers to Perdomo. I didn't think of that. He signed a contract though with the Twins, Royals. So again, don't think the Royals are just going to give up on him. So can't imagine they would ask. I feel like they would ask a lot for him. Real interesting process. Either way, it's like I always, you know, Fox, MLB, whatever, they're all talking about Tarek Skubal. Where is he going to land? You know, could the Brewers, you know, sign him? I don't want it. I don't want to give up the farm system for a half a year of Tarek Skubal. It's like, yeah, it'll be good, and you might actually make a run. You know, you could. I think you'd have a better chance when the Dodgers, the top 3 of the lineup or rotation look really good with Mizrowski or like Skubal, probably Skubal, just because he's a bit more proven. You know, back-to-back Cy Young winner. So it's like Skubal, Mizrowski, Harrison type thing, and then you got like Henderson and, you know, Woodruff, assuming they come back from injury soon. You know, Woodruff, seems like he's pretty close. That'd be pretty nice for supplementing the rotation. But yeah, it's like It's like if the Brewers are going to trade for any starting pitcher, I'd like to try and get Joe Ryan. I know he was a trade on the trade market last year for the Twins when the Twins sold like half their team. I think he'd be a great addition to this lineup. I think he'd be a great addition to this rotation. You could get him. If you have to dig a little bit into that or whatever to get a guy like him, then I say it's worth it. I don't think it's worth trading everything though for Skubal. Like, while you think you can do it with like people are saying you can do it with like Gasser, Luis Lara, and like Letton or Letson or whatever. He's like in their number 8 prospect, left-handed pitcher. And I go, I don't know, man. I for a guy we know is a rental, I don't like that. I don't like the idea of giving up Lara. I just don't. I'd rather throw in like Frelick if that's the case, but it's like I said that now, and now I'm thinking about it more. I don't like that. I don't. I think it ruins the chemistry of the team and everything like that. It's like I know the idea of putting off Frelick out there. It's like, oh, he's right. He's a Gold Glover in right field. I'm like, yeah, he is. But I don't know. It's part of me just goes like, no. Stick to your guns. Try and get guys for the good piece. I think that they do want to add, a starting pitcher or whatever type thing, because it's like doesn't sound like we're getting back Priester this year, or if we do, it'll be very late. Woodruff getting back would be great. Henderson getting back would be great, because I think it would shore up the rotation a lot. Like a lot. So, because it's just like, I'll Drohan. I believe a little bit more in Drohan than I do Crow. Crow showed me again today. It's like he's a young pitcher. So yeah, he's gonna have outings like this or whatever. And same thing with like Sprout or whatever. It's like, well, Sprout I think has a little bit more upside than Crow has. No, I shouldn't say a little bit. He has a lot more upside than Crow has or whatever. But it's just like, he just needs to show it a bit more, type thing. But it's like, you can't necessarily rely on Sprout. And I didn't even factor in Sprout into my rotation. So it's like, even if Woodruff isn't back or whatever, it's like Sprout, maybe we have Sprout from the bullpen or whatever type thing. I don't know. Like, maybe you kind of go like a pseudo 6-man rotation. I don't know. And that's assuming you trade for another pitcher or whatever. If you don't trade for a pitcher, then I guess that is like your thing. So it's like your 3 guys, I guess, like, Mizrowski, Harrison, Woodruff. I would say is probably our next best or whatever, most proven, basically. And then like Henderson and Drohan, Patrick. Can't even forget Patrick in the bullpen too. I think he's better in the bullpen, and I kind of like to keep him there if I can. I think Murph feels the same way. But I don't know. Hopefully these injuries aren't major. I hope Hall is not. That's not a lingering effect potentially. Anderson, I know I said that he was coming with the team to Colorado. He's going to try and throw catch, see how that feels, before they make a decision. So that will be interesting. See how kind of sleep it off. See how he feels tomorrow. So hopefully nothing too serious there. So thankful that the X-rays came back. Anyway, that is enough rambling for me. Thank y'all so much for listening to this or whatever. This is kind of the breakdown of the Giants, looking forward to the Rockies type thing, and kind of just general talk that I was kind of thinking about putting out in a different video or whatever type thing. So this thing is going to end up being longer as a result of that. But I think it was a good discussion. It was like kind of gets my thoughts out there for, it's like, should the Brewers trade for Tarik Skubal? I don't think they should. I think the price is just going to be too high. And I think the Tigers are gonna shop him around. They're gonna get as much as they possibly can out of it. But I mean, if you can get the right price or whatever, sure. I just don't. I think that just about any price that would involve Lara or Fisher or I don't even know, man. I feel like it's just gonna be too high of a price, basically. And I feel like definitely one of those guys are gonna have to be there because I was like, whatever. But yeah, anyway, so it's just like, yeah, it's like I think there's guys that I want. Maybe I'm curious if the Brewers kind of feel like, I know I was kind of singling out a lot of Twins players. There's a lot of Twins players that I want, man. It's like Royce Lewis was kind of that or whatever. I was like, maybe price is kind of low, so no, price is right. Maybe get him, do an Andrew Vaughn situation type thing. That would be good. I didn't even think about Buxton. That's an interesting one, but that's gonna be a tough nut to crack. I feel like. So we'll see. Because I mean, the Brewers just haven't done a whole lot, and they have a halfway decent team. I'm back here rambling again. Good Lord. Thank y'all so much for watching. I'm done rambling. I'm done. I'm at 50 minutes for the. I didn't see that it was 50 minutes on this video. Holy. So, yeah, I will see you after the Colorado series on Sunday. Breakdown. Hopefully, we'll come up with a little sweepy sweep potentially. I don't want to put it out there too much. Let's take at least 2 out of 3 hot button. I think that's solid. So, again, thank y'all so much for watching. I will see you after the Colorado series on Sunday. Till then, let's get them Rockies. Bye-bye.